there, welcome once again to Ben Watson Guitar Tuition. Please remember to go to benwatsonguitar.com for all of your tabs and learning needs. So, what are we going to have a look at today? Altered chords, those lovely things that we have to play over when playing jazz and jazz fusion that really confuse us. And tough stuff. We're going to look at one today, and over the next few weeks I'm going to look at each chord in tow. What we're going to look at today is the G7 flat 9. I've kept it in the key of C to make it simple. G7 flat 9, which is a dominant chord, which would be, in this case, G, B, and D and F, like this. With the flat 9, which in this particular case is a flat, so you put that in. And you can play that from the 10th fret of the A string, and it's 10 of the A, 9 of the D, 10 of the G, 9 of the B. Very nice. So we would use that to resolve to C, whether it be C major or C minor. And there's some scales that you can use on this to really make it work. The first one we're going to look at is the half whole tone diminished, based on G, and that literally does what it says on the tin. It's a half tone followed by a whole tone, half tone, whole tone, and so on. Now, the secret to playing over altered chords is basically making sure that your scale contains the notes that are in the chord. In this case, it has the root, the flat 9, the major third, the 5th, and the 7th. All very nice. However, it does contain other notes which are outside of the tonality of a G7. For example, we have the major third of G, which is B, but we also have the minor third in there as well. Now that note is going to sound a little bit out of place, and the secret to playing over these is making sure that you don't hang about on those notes that you shouldn't. So for G7, it would be G, B, D, and F. For the flat 9, you could play the A flat. But you don't want to play on the notes that are outside of that. So if I was to play a G and a B, which is the major, all very nice. If I put a flattened third on that, that's not very nice, so you don't really want to play that. You want to focus on hitting maybe the 7th, which is the F on the 10th fret of the G, and then maybe hitting the major third on the B string, 12th fret. So please, when you're going through the scale, please think about the notes that you're playing. So to play the scale, 10th fret of the A string, and you go 10, 11, 13. On the next string down, it's 9, 11, 12, 9, 10, 12, 9, 11, 12, 9, 10, 12. Just like that. Okay. Here's a useful lick that you can use on that one. So you're going to start on the 10th fret of the G, and you're going to go 10 pull off to 9, 11 hammer on to 12 on the D string. Remembering not to hang on that 11 too much. That's a flat 5. There's no flat 5 in the chord. And after you've done that, 9, 10, 12 on the G, followed by 9, 11, 12 on the B string, again ending on that B, which is in your G7 flat 9. Okay, so that's the half whole diminished scale. That's one of my personal favourites. I really like that one. Okay, there is something else you can do over a G7 flat 9, and that's play C harmonic minor over it. Now that can be a bit confusing, so we're not going to look too much into it here. I'm more worried about just you playing over it, but you can use G Phrygian dominant on the G because it's a dominant scale with the flat 9 in it, so it fits really well. Now there's such a thing called minor conversion. Some of you might have heard of this. It's a technique where you might play a scale in a different position other than the root, just because it's easier to play. A really good example would be if we're playing in C major, but we still play the A minor pentatonic because it's a nicer position to play. So instead of playing G Phrygian dominant, which I find quite awkward, I'm just going to play C harmonic minor. Much easier. And again, what you could do is you could go up the scale in sequence from the B on the 9th fret of the D, and we could go in fives. So you're literally going to go up the scale in fives. Like that, okay? Now this starts from the 9th fret of the D string, and you're going to go 9, 10, 12, and then 8, 10 on the next string down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rolling up to the 10 of the D, and you go 10, 12. 8, 10, 12 on the G. Rolling up to the 12 of the D. 8, 10, 12 on the G. 9 of the B. And then finishing on the 12 of the B. Which would fit with the G flat 9. So G half whole diminished and the C harmonic minor or G Phrygian dominant, if that's more comfortable for you to think of that way. All of the tabs will be on my website, benwatsonguitar.com, of course, along with all the scales, the notes in the scales, and all of the licks. Have any questions, please do not hesitate to drop me a line, benwatsonguitar.com. If you have a moment, please like my Facebook page, Ben Watson Guitar Tuition.